The UEFA Champions League is back, and the UCL League phase is pure chaos. 8 matches for each team and no hiding. And you know some big clubs are about to get cooked. So today, we're drafting our top flop candidates. The biggest European giants who won't live up to the hype. Let's go. All right, quick disclaimer. Real Madrid, we're not even counting them. They're not doing anything this year. They're gonna flop just like last year.
This guy said Real Madrid, Los Reyes de Europa. Just wait and see, baby. All right off the rip, I got Manchester City. Yes, Man City, which is crazy to think because, 2 years ago? They won their first Champions League back in 2023, and that was it for them. The following year, they got knocked out by Real Madrid in the quarterfinals. That infamous Rudiger last penalty. And then the following year, they got eliminated by Real Madrid again in the playoff or knockout playoff round that didn't qualify in the first top 8. But, Man City, they've added the likes of Cherky, Reindeers, Marmoush is in his first full season. They added a left back. But I don't know, man. We've seen them kind of iffy in the start of the season. Rodri, the shadow of himself. I know he's still getting up to 100%. Doku and Foden, super inconsistent, along with Kovacic. That midfield is gonna get bodied by most of these teams in the Prem and in the Champions League, and we'll see that. That backline is looking kind of shaky. Is not as strong as it used to be. Although they did add a new goalkeeper in Donnarumma, who was the best goalkeeper in the Champions League last season. But apart from that, we've seen him do a lot of mistakes. Will that cost Manchester City? I believe so. Pep Guardiola has to find the solution, and he has to find it fast, or else he's going to find himself in another playoff round in this Champions League group league phase.
All right, Billy, I think City, that's a ballsy shout. I think they're going to do better than last year, where they were a complete disaster, but calling them a flop, I don't know. I still think they're going to make it pretty deep into the tournament. A real flop team is Liverpool with our second pick. Liverpool is a team who signed a bunch of big players and on paper has the best roster on the planet right now. But this always happens. They take super teams and then they never end up living up to the hype. And, Liverpool's expected to win it all, but I honestly don't see them winning a treble or anything like that. I think it's either Premier League or Champions League. Maybe they'll sprinkle in an FA Cup here and there, but honestly, I think it's one or the other. They have to focus on one. Although they have great depth, I still think that they're not seasoned enough together to be a team that can take everything.
Liverpool, aka the Avengers, we shall see. All right, at number 2, I got who else but Football Club Barcelona. Sorry, culés. Sorry, Barca fans. But last year was a fluke. I don't know. You guys have been looking pretty shaky. The start of the season. That back line was to perfection last season. Well, other than the Inter game. But I don't know. That pairing with Cubarsí and Araujo is not the same as when Martin Indigo was there. He's over in Saudi, looking like Van Dijk with Liverpool, controlling that back line, implementing that high line over there in Al Nassr, and that's what you guys are missing. Rafinha, he had a great season last season, but will he live up to his own standards this season? Who knows? Lewandowski, older, rumors of him leaving or this being his last season in Fútbol Club de Barcelona. Who knows who that will affect him? Ferran, another Cavani, misses chances over and over unless he's playing Real Madrid for some reason. Lamine, that's probably your only positive. He's only going to get better with time unless he lets outside factors, aka Neymar 2.0, affect him. Other than that, Barcelona, Fleek, I think all the teams around Europe are catching on to your game, and you better be careful because I think you will flop this season. With the new goalkeeper, João Garcia, he's only going to save you so much. He saved you the last league game before the international break, and he's going to have to come up big in some of these Champions League nights, or I see you guys struggling right off the bat. keep a lookout for Barcelona, because I see this being a long season for them.
Honestly, Billy, I don't even know what you're talking about. Barcelona is one of the best teams on the planet, if not the best attack on the planet. Lamine Yamal, the best player on the planet, the best goalie in La Liga, Joan Garcia, the best young center back on the planet, Pau Cubarsí, and the best midfielder on the planet, Pedri Gonzalez, along with Hansi Flick leading them all. After the experience they had making it all the way to the semifinals last year, Barcelona is not going to be a flop. But a team that I do see flopping is the current champions, Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. I think they're still a really strong team. It's the same team that took the title last season and also made it to the Club World Cup final. But I just think after a while, the club, the relationships between players, coach, it may die down a little bit. There may be a little bit of friction between everything. And, you know, all good things come to an end. And I just don't see this PSG team being a dynasty for many years to come. So I think PSG might have an okay tournament, but they will flop overall. They're not winning it again.
PSG, hot take. We saw what happens to them when things go from bad to worse, aka FIFA Club World Cup final. We all saw that. But at number 5, I got Inter de Milan. They're nowhere near the quality or team we saw under Simone Inzaghi when he was under control. This is a shadow of the team we saw in the Champions League last season and in the league. Although the season did crumble for them at the end, moments away from a treble, with ending up with they ended up with nothing. This team lost its identity, and I'm sure will be struggling in the Champions League. We saw their performance in the Club World Cup, nowhere near that team that went band for band with Barcelona. This team will also have a long season ahead.
Honestly, Billy, I agree with you. Inter Milan is a team that they really don't have the same chemistry and thing going that they had the past few years with Simone Inzaghi. And I think he was the key part holding this team together. They still have good players, Lautaro here, Di Marco, Bastoni. They have a great team overall, but I just don't think it's enough to compete with the giants of Europe again. And they will not be anywhere near the final. Inter, you will be a flop, as Billy said. And now, lastly, a team with a lot of expectations in the Premier League and the Champions League because they're the Club World Cup champions currently. Chelsea, who spent a boatload of money but still haven't produced results in anything other than the Club World Cup, which is a big accomplishment, but we want to see them in real in-season tournaments where with things like the Premier League, contending for that again, and the Champions League where they belong up at the top. But I just don't think that this team is ready. They don't have enough experience to be competing in a tournament of this caliber like the Champions League. And Chelsea is the last team we have flopping at number 6.
I do see Napoli making a better run this Champions League than Inter de Milan. Watch out for Napoli. All right, boys and girls, that's our 6 picks for the teams that will flop this European campaign in the Champions League 2025-2026 season. Do you agree? What do you guys think? Drop your comments down below. Don't forget to follow the Back 4 for all the footy content across all platforms. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace.